Alrighty, good morning, everybody. Okay, so what I'm watching right here is this kind of a breakdown on this level here. We're going to go ahead and trash this level. I'm more concerned about this high now on SPY. Taking a look at it here. 510.75, okay? So we've taken this, we broke outside this divergence trend line that I've been tracking, right? So where do we come? Where do we go from here? I think that puts are probably our best bet, but we need to see how it responds to 510.75. If we catch ourselves, being too bearish, too bullish right now, I think we're going to get caught. Watch for a move down here, and we're going to see how it responds. We would reshort, in my opinion. I think the best thing we could do is try to watch it bounce on our weekly open level right here, bounce on the previous weekly high, or even on this trend line, recome here, and then we look to short for that second wave down to confirm at 508. Additionally, let's take a look at some larger moving averages. Okay, we have the 50 on top, 511.40. That's going to come into play today. We also have the 20 down at 506. Let me make sure I'm right on this. Okay, so 506 and the 511.40. These are going to be, let's go. 506 is going to be, 506 is our daily 20. We had our daily 10. It's gone. Okay, so let me duplicate this. We're looking at 511.40. Daily 50. Style coordinates 511.40. I think is what I said. Okay, so now we've got our ranges set in our trading screen. Okay, we talked about coming and watching how it responds to this weekly open, right? Okay, so we're starting to get that a little bit of that potentially reversal candle. Let's see. Smacked our daily 50 on the money, 511.40, right? Now, if you wanted to, so you didn't miss the slip here, you could look at this as, I say, a short and say, all right, I see it kind of breaking down, and you could try to play that and maybe even average into that, which is probably a smart play. It's probably something I should be doing, but I'm sitting here talking. So I like the 509 today is a pretty good fair price right now. Trading. Okay, hitting our weekly open right now. Let's see if we catch some type of bounce or not. I want to get a bounce premature to this trend line, but we may or may not get it. We'll see. We might just go straight to our trend line here. Which would be kind of annoying, to be honest with you. Yeah, all right, here we go. Okay, so coming right down here, we're going to watch this level right here, see how it responds. Watch for 508.20 to be a potential target here, okay? We're watching this previous weekly high. People are trying to. That's kind of what I was looking for. So it wasn't the weekly open. We kind of stutter stepped on the weekly open, kind of coming down that trend line. I want to see how this responds here. For me personally, I'd like to see some type of bounce up into this range, this 510.75 up to 511.40 to reshort. So for me, let's say for example, I want to see this come in this range again, right? So it's a virtually a little over a two risk versus reward. The idea is that you would have to average into that, and so that's where that kind of changes the entire aspect of this, right? So we started here, and then we look to kind of build into it. Kind of waiting for a moment, see what happens. I'm going to set an alert here on the low. I'll set an alert here on the entrance. NVIDIA, if you guys followed my play yesterday, it came right into my target at 860. Okay, getting a bit of a move down here. We're getting NVIDIA trying to gap down on it. Came at right at 820, man. Oh, this is wonderful. I think 863 is probably the target for the downside here for NVIDIA. So maybe a little bounce between NVIDIA. Let me change this over to Microsoft. Let's see kind of what we're looking like. That would have won. Microsoft trade right there would have won, but never gave us our entry. Okay, bouncing off the trend here. Want to see one good bounce. It might just waterfall right down to it before we get anything, which would be unfortunate. Don't want it to sit here and build like any great base either, you know. Thing about Microsoft, see this? It broke right out of this. So there's no confirmation really needed here. It broke right out of it and touched it. So open here, touched it, and kept running. So this is where those squeezes can happen. 409's on the table for me on Microsoft. It's something I probably will open today. Let's see, Microsoft call for 24. We got to be careful here. With some big players like that, already kind of hitting that. Look at how far the 2 years dropping, man. Tesla's probably on its way right here to having a hell of a day. Let's see, liquidity, yeah, 186. How much is a Tesla call right now? For 186. Cheap enough. Run it. Um, okay, so talking about shorting here in this zone. See how it responds to Microsoft's crossing into its weekly open right here. Yeah, right into its weekly open. Let's see, Nvidia come back to 880.20, which is a really tough level for it. I'm going to see if it gets through that or if it's going to struggle. So 815 is the range, or excuse me, 550, 515, even 518 is on range today, just so everyone's clear on that. I'm playing downside, but the range is definitely up there. As a seller today, you got to be really worried. Okay, so averaging in. So for those who didn't see, my range virtually for the day today is going to be um, from 518, which is this high right here, from 518 all the way down, including into this zone. We're really down to about 500. That's our trading range. That's a possibility. Okay. True range, I don't think it would go down to 500. I think 503 would be about all we'd get. So true range probably right there, 518, 51, down to about 503.12. I think either one of those would be our range today. Okay, so we're kind of flirting with the daily 50 right here. Talked about taking an average. Kind of see how it punches against this daily 50 again. Give it a little room to breathe here. Again, this purple, or I guess I didn't talk about it, this purple area right here, kind of what I'm looking at, is the downside on this, on the swing low here, right? So it came up here, but it got rejected on this area. This is really where the most volume of this was. So kind of watching this area as a potential rejection zone. Even though we're kind of sitting on top of that trend, this looks like a really bullish candle for upside right now. Take a look at the 5 minutes. Let's flash this over on my subscreen. Subscreen, where you at? Huge reversal look, right? Huge reversal. So we're playing downside, but that candle set is definitely more in favor for some type of bullish continuation. So we got to see how it responds right here on this daily 50. Oh no. Sorry guys, I was looking at something. I thought I just made a huge typo, but thankfully they didn't fill that. Thankfully. I was trying to buy two contracts instead of buying two contracts, I hit limit buy two, which would have been double the price of that contract. And I've seen plenty of people get filled there, right? When that happens. Okay. So we're seeing a bit of a kickback right here on the daily 50. Okay. We talked about averaging in right here, seeing how it's going to respond to that daily 50. So we're going to have an opportunity, I think, to challenge this little breakout candle right here. Okay. Starting to get a little bit of a kickback right off that. We'll see how it responds to 510.75. If we break under 510.75, then great. We'll probably have continuation, but we could catch a call right off of here. Oh shit, and see this thing continue to run. So you got to be really careful here. Really careful. Okay, Nvidia's kind of struggling a little bit with 820 or 880.20. Set an alert right there. We're kind of popping the top right now. We're gonna have to wait and see on this. Let me pull this up real quick on the daily. Okay, so the actual low here is at 512.76. Okay, so we're anywhere in this purple zone. We'll let this one, we're probably going to end up letting this one go, even though I think it's probably the right play. We'll see how it responds. Don't really like it. Didn't even give us the opportunity here to retest 510.75. There's a lot of things showing some strength today. Let's see, about 12% back on this particular contract right now. We'll see how it goes. We'll stay patient. We'll give it a little bit of space. Tesla is running up to the target. If you took that little trade looking for that 186 run, it's up 30% right now and cranking. I'm going to go ahead and close that. Close by market order. Yeah, 42% right there. Boom. All right. NVIDIA is kind of breaking through 880.20. We really need to be careful here, guys. Really need to be careful. This thing could just straight pop up to 512.76. Really want to see one more candle selling down here, and we might be looking to trim this position up. Okay, we're setting an alert there. We'll set an alert over the top of this. Take a look. Microsoft getting kicked back on that. This is the only thing that's scary, right, for this is NVIDIA true strength. Target 888. This is probably going to get it, and it's probably going to push the market up. It's kind of what I was banking on yesterday to push up to 506. And I think we're going to end up getting stopped on this. We're going to have moving average pressure here. We'll see. We'll see. I'm definitely trimming out at this 510.75 with the strength that we're seeing across NVIDIA. I mean, we may not even get a chance. We might just look at this and say, all right, take 10% loss on some of these. Yeah. How are we looking on Apple? Yeah, that's kind of what I expected. I want to see that thing roll back to 180. We'll be patient in here. We'll be patient. We're giving it 30 cents. If it doesn't want to pop 30 cents, then I'm okay with that. That's what we've given it with our stop loss. Apple continuing to kind of fade. Will it make its way back down? Come on. I feel like we're at least going to check this 510.75, but I could be wrong. Tesla just took a dump. Tesla just took a dump, so we'll see. Back 6% in this contract right now. We talked about NVIDIA going to 888. It's trying. It's trying. Getting sold on. Here we go. Let's go. 510.75. You should drastically reduce this. Up 7, 8, 10%. We'll let one go. You don't want to see this harmonic, okay? You do not want to see this harmonic if you're looking for this. So it would likely mean one more push up, 512.76 would probably be where we're looking. Come on down. You're next to the Price is Right. 405. Okay, so just to be clear, 409 on Microsoft is a pretty solid target. Okay, we got to be careful. Any move really up past these candles here, I don't want any business of. We didn't quite get our trim slash, potential gains there, but we'll see. Yeah, not beautiful here for the short. It's just so strong, guys. We have the dollar. Let's take a look at this real quick while we got just a second. This is a 2-year right here, 2-year yield. I mean, look where we were just yesterday, 2 days ago, right on Wednesday. We're up here cranking over 5%. It dropped yesterday. I talked about how this was just a huge deal. Seeing the 2-year yield kind of drop them like that's a big deal. Very bullish. Also caught the dollar. Talked about this coming back down into this 104 area, and then that would give us that potential bounce to. There it goes. Here it goes. We're going to have to lose this one. About 20% down on this right here. I think it's probably a safe bet to go ahead and close this on a loss for 20. We'll see. We'll see. We've got to top it, but I wouldn't want to lose no more than that 20% we're at right now. And I'm telling you, this little harmonic right here, chances are it'll probably play. And that'll push us to that 512.76, and you could try to stack it, but man, this thing could get real squeezy, real squeezy. Just sitting on a stop right here. You're gonna get us. You're gonna get our stop. I'm in. My stop set at 80 right here on the 510 on the 510 put. You're gonna get us. Yep, got me. I'm sure they got plenty of people just sitting here and they're gonna turn this thing over. Starting to see Nvidia topping. God, man, that's frustrating. Yep, we're at it. Lost 20. Nvidia's starting to turn. We'll see if this turns the market. I'd love to see virtually one more confirmation down here before moving up. That's what I'd like to see. But we got robbed of it twice. And it'll probably come. Hmm. Well, that's the name of that game. That's 20 going. Microsoft trying to go for that 409, that 410 area. I just don't like the contract price. take a look at something different right now. Kind of contained, heading to 512.76. Kind of keep an eye on that, set an alert on that, set an alert on the low here. See if it wants to try to crack through that. Let's take a look at Tesla. Tesla came up in here to yesterday's high a day. That's where I was looking to try to sell that into my contract earlier. Made its push up, ended up getting sold on it. It's trying to look for some type of reset. Watching for 183 here. 183 to be toe tapped for another address back up here. Worst case scenario, we see it roll back to 180.86. So we identified that this looked like a continuation pattern, a bounce pattern, right? And we very much can see this run up to this liquidity here at 512.62, touch our 512.76 and roll back and retest some of this zone here, this specifically this 510.75, 100%. But it's not worth sticking in this to get squeezed out and not on a pipe dream here. We had a plan for this thing to not really take this high. We gave it a little bit of a grace period to try to make that little run, that little fake out, and try to roll down on us. But it touched our trend line on our divergence and really just has run since then. I grabbed some 515s down here and I let them go up here, but wasn't something I felt comfortable with this thing potentially running down to 508 announcing on here. So it's all good, but kind of see if we got that. We didn't get it. We didn't get it. Still coiling. Okay. Taking a look at Tesla's coiling but not moving, right? So generally when we see something like that, it gives it room to breathe for another rotation for a move up. I think that's probably aiming towards 186. Looks like a little bit of a topping here. A little bit of a topping. Yeah. Oh man. Just got new data. New data just slayed everybody right there. Running for that 512.76. Holy cow. Whoa. New data, new data. We got in PMI was lower. ISM non-manufacturing new orders are down. Um, wow. Wow, big push down there. Okay, came down in this area. That's kind of what I was talking about, right? Um, where we get that push down. It took both sides, so you need to be really cognizant here for what you're looking for. Uh, oh my goodness, what a roller coaster this morning. So this would be a pretty good area to run potential. Um, let's see how it responds. Let's see how it responds. This is going to be bullish down here. Okay, this area will be our demand right now. Kind of looks like a reversal. Potential targets would be down here. Weekly open 510. Additionally, 508 would be your additional targets, but we've really had a pretty strong little push down here. So any type of move here, let's kind of look at these numbers again. ISM and non-manufacturing prices are up. Golly, 59. That's huge. So I'll move this over here real quick. We're seeing all this data right here came out. Seeing PMI is actually down. Okay, PMI here is down on the forecast, and then we're seeing non-manufacturing employment is down significantly. New orders down significantly, so those go hand in hand normally. That's good business. And then PMI is down, so everything's down, kind of giving us insight. Maybe economy's not as strong in the month of April, and yeah, that's what we're looking at right here. So kind of watching that bounce off of this area. If you think that we could continue to run, then by all means. Otherwise, we're going to be looking for targets at 509. So watch it just come down in here, swipe this 509.59, and we could find a bounce right after that. Okay. So what I mean by that is it could swipe this and then look to run back up, or we can go down for our target earlier, what we're looking for, and that's 508. Starting to get a little bit of a harmonic on the 1 minute. Let me take a look at the chat. I haven't looked at the chat one time. That's my bad. Apple, Kula, blah, blah, blah. Yes, sir. Let's go. Thank you, Rustic. Damn, so couldn't catch that wick to average down more. Yeah, so, I mean, the idea here is that shook about everybody out of their positions, pushing up there. And then they just really dumped this right at our 512.76 marker right here, right into our rejection zone. So pushed up in there, and we're seeing a big push down. But don't get too bearish right now, okay? Do not get too bearish. We're looking at this as a sense that we could see this bounce, create that higher low, right? Boop. And then we can see this thing try to run past this for targets in the 515 range. So if you're looking for that potential, if we break below this and with some type of strength, I think we'll probably have some type of containment. All right, I want to show y'all something. Let's see what I can show you on. It's not on here, but I will show it to you. Okay, so I was looking for potential. Let's go 4 hour. Okay, kind of toppy right here. Okay, also have some divergences here. Okay, we're running into some of these, all in this range. Now, is that topping or is that breaking out? We don't know yet. You got to kind of look for some insight. I was looking at the daily here as a potential little run up into this area, and I thought that's where we'd kind of get snuffed. Maybe that's 518, 520, or maybe a little bit higher, and then we see it settle down again. Okay, kind of sitting at 510 right now. So you got to say this is at this point demand, right? This point's demand. We already saw a pretty strong little run out of here, so this would be the area to buy a call for a run back up, with the idea that it doesn't really take the low, or at least lose it. Let's put it that way. Apple, Bitcoin. Bitcoin. Let's take a look at Bitcoin real quick, just because I'm kind of curious, because I've been trading a little bit with TradingView's little challenge. Super nice looking little area to potentially go long. I was long on the low here. That's crazy. Should have just left it. And yeah, has that potential for that continuation. Come out of here, create all new lows, right? All new lows came out here, and then try to make a punch for the 6,700, 67,000 range. But you got moving average to deal with. You've got resistance to deal with right in this range, 63.1. So watch for that. But I would say bullish on this, trying to make a run at 64. But you've got some resistance in that 63.1 area. So right in this little neck right here of this 1 hour, this breakdown. So be careful there. So broke ahead of it, coming back behind it. This is an interesting look right here. This would be, let's take the, let's go SPY. Didn't take a low, bouncing off the weekly open. But at this point, kind of looks like a reversal on the daily 50, right? Again, Shark Harmonics flashing. But definitely looks like a continuation potentially for 508. But you've got liquidity here. You've got your trend line here. You've got major supports here. I think you have to go with the call here for the potential risk versus reward, knowing where to cut it. And, you know, so let's say, for example, I bought a put here. Well, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to let that thing run all the way back up to 512 from here? No. No. And so the idea doesn't matter what direction, if you're looking to go scalp or not, you're looking for risk reward, risk versus reward. Well, this play would be, I'd give this just like I did earlier, watch for a recovery, boom, boom. Okay, came down below it. Does it get the recovery or does it break down? If it breaks down, I'm looking for 508. There you go. Let's see. It's early. It's early. It's early. It's early. We'll see how we respond to this weekly open. Nice little push above it. Let's see if it gets continuation. So one more test at 510, 510.75. 510.75 is going to be the neck of this breakout here. If it gets rejected there, y'all, then that's where I'd be looking for a continuation. So watch for 510.75 if we get over the moving average, right? Okay. Watch for how it responds here, 510.75. What a shame. What a shame that we didn't get to keep our 510s earlier. Still kind of maintaining this area. We're gonna get a little bit of a chop here. Okay, so Nvidia did come for the 888 target, right? Came for an 888 target and then sold on it. I talked about Nvidia being that's the range to look for. It did get it, and then it's coming back. It's retesting her 888 or 880.20. Man, I cannot speak this morning. And so I'm gonna keep an eye on that and see how that does. Kind of got underneath this weekly high. I'd like for it to touch this 880.20 and then potentially see it try to run back up. Microsoft got to the 405 level, but did not get to our 409 level that we thought it might get to. Early look shows resistance. Okay, here comes in the market potentially breaking down here. We might just have one of those days where this stupid thing just kind of trends right on there, or kind of just sticks around that trend line like a fucking magnet. We'll set up an alert here at 27 for this potential cycle to be played on the 1 minute. 5 minute. Okay. So as of right now, we're just kind of chopping our way down here. Okay. We're having some buyers, but it looks like it's getting sold on type of deal. The dollar is bouncing back. That's something we need to monitor. Okay. The dollar now has recaptured 105 and it's rising. So we'll set up alert here at 105.30 and see if it wants to retop 105.30. If it does, that will be an interesting little look there. Okay. So that might have been just a draw. Let's take a look at 2-year yields. 2-year yields are on the rise, but again, it's so far down here, but it's an interesting look. TLT, gapped up, dropped down. Wow. Man, I bought a lot of treasuries down here. A lot. Bought about 10 grand, 15 grand worth down here. So that would have been nice to see that keep going. Apple, still blow off top. Meta is trying to make a bigger push. Meta ultimately I think will probably get to that 472 mark, 470 mark. Amazon blow off top. We'll see what happens ultimately. Netflix pushed up to 576, getting sold on. That's a really nice little potential short there. You might have to give it a little room, but I think that's a really nice short for NVIDIA right up here at this 478. Microsoft hover around that 404, got that kickback on that 405 405.81. NVIDIA did come down to the 880.20. We're looking for some type of bounce there, but it didn't get it right on 880.20. Came back down in this little area. So we'll see if this is just some type of cycle play where it wants to run back up. If it does, it's really going to be kind of some nonsense for the market. Let's see. I think we're ultimately going to come back up and try to test this daily 50 again. It's just when do we hit 508.20 first, or do we just kind of chop on this line and then finally make our way and squeeze up there? But those are your two targets right now: 508, 508.20, and a 511.40. Either one of those are your targets. And just because we make it back up here to 511.40 does not mean that we can't sell back down, by the way. This is definitely looking like a chop day. Mostly chop. Okay. So kind of wanted to get some type of setup. We got the setup, but it blew our stop, but just a little bit, man. And then ultimately came and went the direction we were looking. We wanted to get it to 508.20, but it didn't. We're so close to this weekly open and this previous weekly high. Let me show you what I'm looking at here, right? So this is kind of where we're sitting. This is our weekly candle right here. Let me switch over to SPX so there's not so many lines. So we have this right here is our weekly high. In addition to that, we have our weekly 10. This is our 10 as suppression here for the weekly. So we're almost contained because if I flip you over here to this is our 20. So we have a 10-20, right? 10's on top. This is our 20 on here in the weekly. So we're kind of like suppressed between these two. So we're going to have a move. But is it up or is it down? We'll see, right? We'll see. Daily kind of sitting, bouncing off of that 10 or off that 50, excuse me. Okay, looking like some downside. Looking like some downside potential. Yeah, man. What a chop fest. Well, guys, this is going to be boring here. We got into these ranges. I talked about this yesterday where it would be a tricky zone if we top this and what it would do, right? Well, if you take a look at the 15-minute, it definitely does look like a reversal, right? It looks like 508 is in the cards um, with almost great certainty, right? But we have a point of control here. We have a high level of volume traded right here. Let me horizontal line this so I have it marked right here. Yeah. And so we need to be cognizant of like some kind of phantom bounce right here on this zone, but I don't think so. I think we're going to get 508.20. There we go. If you played the puts for the downside, you're in the business right now. But you can get trapped so easy. There's just burning everybody's theta right here. Just got to be patient. Got to be patient. Tesla, watch for a run at 180 like we talked about earlier. Watch for that run at 180. Specifically, you have a couple targets. You look for a 180.87, or you look for this thing to roll down and try to take some of these lows here. 179.82, 178.45, and then ultimately 176.46. I don't think we're going to get that. I don't think. Take a look at VIX. I always forget this one is delayed. This one's not delayed. So we're starting to see VIX. Starting to see VIX kind of jump a little bit. Yeah, VIX kind of jumping a little bit for us. This is what we're looking for here. Now, additionally, if this thing wanted to say like do a full-blown reversal, right? It came up here, it took this high, it tested this. You know, liquidity for this thing, if it wanted to do its full-blown push down, would be around that 501 or even down as low as 503. But I talked about this. The low I see is 503.12. I wouldn't see this thing pushing anything further than that. But if we do see something like that, I would be shocked, be absolutely shocked. Even the daily 20 down here at 506, it does have that possibility. You know, I keep saying 508.20, but that's if we want to stay on the bullish side. But we bypassed that daily 20 when that was being such a resistance, and that would be a confirmation on this here break. So we'll kind of see where we're at. This looks like it's about to give us our 511.40 test, or at least our 510.75. Nvidia floating with the weekly open. Guys, we're sitting on the weekly open. This thing's going to be a chop fest. It's going to be a chop fest. We're going to rope this. You know, the move, I think, was in for today. We might go, I mean, we could potentially get, let me put it this way. We could potentially bounce off 508.20 and see this thing run back up here. And if that is the case, what we'll see is a be range bound between 508 and 512 from today's high. And then ultimately, I think we'll probably settle in and close on the weekly open / trend line. That's what I think we could see. But they're going to burn up everybody's theta just sitting here. Okay, here's our phantom level right here, volume based. Burn through it. Okay, come on. Still waiting. Gosh, today's you know, doesn't give us a lot of a range or anything like that. Still just kind of waiting on this. You know, I know it's a little bit boring to watch this stuff, but there's really nothing here. We're seeing Microsoft come up into that supply level, kind of pushing its way down. Kind of waiting on to see if SPY wants to continue to drop, or if there's our phantom level opened on it, pushing off it. Do we continue to run off of that? Potentially. Let's check on moving average suppression. High level of volume traded right here on this blue line. So we marked it up and then boom, getting that bounce off it. The same thing that happened when we revisited 412 back in the day. And let me set an alert right here so we can kind of check this out. So I talked about this when we made our big pushback. Yeah, right here. This last pushback, I said, man, and I could probably still, it's probably still going to link it up as one of the most highest volume trades. Yeah, so 411, 412 back here. When we had this huge consolidation, right? There was no reason for this to really bounce without probably taking some of these areas. Like we thought this gap would be filled. There's a lot of things back here that would say that, oh yeah, 407, we're running for 400 again. But I tell everybody 412, look for 412 to be an entry point. And that day we got it. And then we opened up, pushed past it, and then we never looked back. It just ran the stops on that buy at 412. So you can see 412 there pop. But there was such high volume here that I was like, man, that's going to be a reversal. Let's look for it. Well, we just kind of saw something like that on a much smaller scale, where that consolidation impacted where we bounced there. Didn't come into our structural level, our TA level there, right? So it is coming in here. It's going to likely try to test our 510. We've got weekly open levels here, weekly high. So will it reject here? Maybe. Can we play this? I mean, we could. We've now taken this high here, shown a little bit of bullish strength here. You could look to go long here, try to play some type of like retracement here. You could try the 68 level here. Hold this. Looking for some expansion. And I would be looking for this right here. So as far as risk reward, we'd be looking for something like this. But if it quickly gave us the 5-10-75 check, right? So let's say, let me get this out of here so you can see. So let's say that it comes here, it comes down, gives us our entry level, right? And it quickly make its way up to 5-10-75, I'd be okay with an exit there than I would hitting this 5-10-75, chopping out, getting rejected, maybe retesting the weekly, and then coming back up towards our target. Talked about this a lot with premium so jacked because of volatility here recently that this thing could definitely, a lot of times pay you more. If not right there at getting our target by just the amount of time that it chops on contracts. All right, let me see. So you thinking lotto call? What are you thinking? Lotto call, lotto. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just seeing this, but virtually down here in this range, you should be looking for a lotto calls for like 511, 512. In that range, you should be looking for those right here. Up here, we were looking for puts, right? We were looking for the daily 50 put, and we were also looking for a put up here at this 512.76 area. But at this moment right here, what we're looking for is not necessarily a lotto call. We're looking for like a 508 call or a 509 call for this thing to drive it back up into 511 on this retracement, right? So we're looking for this thing to pop down. Whoop, wrong tool. We're looking for this thing to pop down, retest 61 fib, or even 78 fib, It might even be this level, right? It doesn't matter. We're looking for it not to really smoke this here. Now, can that come down, take that low, and then maybe go? Sure. So if you wanted to give that room, I don't think there's any issue with that. But so like right here would be our entry call right here. So for example, let me get over here. Maybe looking at that 509 call right here. So it's not the greatest entries because I wasn't ready. I was talking, chit-chatting. But I'm at okay averaging. Okay, came right into our zone for our buying, right? And we're looking for this thing to bounce off this range and hold this. Now, like I was saying, can we see this thing roll over one more time, smoke everybody that's doing this, come here, and then run sure? And so you can try to buy on this one, limp into this type of entry, and then look to say, okay, well, I'll take this and move it here. And we'll give it a little bit of room to try to run past it, and then we'll look to run here. And you'd average in here and look for it to take this high. You can do that. It just kind of depends on your money situation, what your risk tolerance is, everything else. But structurally, this is what we're looking for. And why is because we made this established low reversement, made this higher high, okay? Coming back down, now we're looking for it to reestablish itself. So you would want to see bulls step in right in this range, or even right in this range. I gotta take this call, y'all. Okay, hold on one second. All right. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, y'all. Some shit going down at the school. So, all right. If you're still with me, I appreciate it. Do me a favor and like the chat. If you guys took this long call with me, man, we're up quite a bit here. Um, let's see if it wants to keep on going. It keeps getting rejected on this previous weekly high and this open. Starting to get a little squeezy though. Starting to get a little squeezy. There we go. So it should be up quite a bit. There we go. Weekly open could get slammed. I'd say trim some here. Trim some. Trim like very small portion. Should be up at least 20%. At least. There we go. Nice smack. Okay, watching for 510.75. We're at 24.53 right now. Okay. Here we go. Trim area right here. Ooh. Trim area right here. You can see it with trim right here as well. Y'all up 30%. $48, 30%. Could trim out, you can cut out. That's fine, either one. Okay, so just kind of sitting here right now. I'm going to see if we want to make this continued push up. Again, a couple trim areas was right here where we're at when we took this high. The next one would be right here. Let's see. So we're looking here. We're looking here. And then, of course, on target. Daily 50 will send this thing down, I believe. Will be a chop fest. I don't want to stick around in for it. So any of these will do. Virtually at this point, your stop loss should be break even. Wouldn't want to see this thing turn back around. Anything kind of sudden. We had a really great entry here. There's no reason for it to stop you out. It's pretty good entry. It could stop you out, but it's not a sniper shot like this down here. But yeah, if it stops you out and you trim some here at 40%, 30%, then great. Who cares? Okay. All right. Now we'll say this type of look, a strong rejection here, likely to bring us down to 506. So if you were looking for lottos, this would be it. You're looking for a small slammer down here. That's definitely a possibility. Let's see if we have anything in expansion. Yeah, 506.87. Put us right around there. Slammer, but I don't think that's going to be the case. Let me take a look at some things here. Let's look at the dollar. Dollar's got a pretty strong rebound. Dollar's got a pretty strong rebound. Let's see if it makes it over the top, though. I said about 105.30. It's tried, but well, it's already tried. The same thing happened right here. Oop. I think the dollar's going to 104. I think it's going to fuel this thing to about 518. We'll see. 512, 518. Those are both the areas for potential rejection. Okay, I've been on here a little over an hour on the call. Awesome call. Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all. I'm sorry, I gotta get better at watching this. Are you looking to buy 0-day puts and calls? Rob, so traditionally that's what I do buy. Unless I specifically specify a different direction, that's generally what I buy. Yeah. That's generally what I buy. If I am looking for something like, so for example, I'll give this as an example. When we take a higher, like a higher level high or something like that, there are times, and this would be one of them, that you could open up a put for that type of look and look for it to try to wave down. But you can see we had a lot more trading, a lot more volume in this range. So generally when we see this, I know I make jokes about it, and maybe it's inappropriate on here, but I always talk about ball sack, cup, and handle. That's what this always turns into, right? So we get into like this look that kind of resembles something, right? And I just kind of joke about it, but the fact of the matter is that it gets this look, and we get up to about, say, 515, 518, and then we're going to see a fade probably back to 510 area. So that's just kind of what we see. We either see it break and we'll see one of these, and then we'll see it kind of trend down and keep going, or we see it go like this and then kind of like this, and then it just skyrockets. So okay, so we're starting to build on this range here. I've talked about this plenty earlier and talked about how it just could be rope in this trend line. It does look like one of those boring days. Microsoft did try to make another push back at this high. Ooh, excuse me. We need to be cognizant of this. This could be a ripper. This could be a ripper for the low a day, or excuse me, an attempt at 403 on Microsoft. Oh, and we're getting on spot. Generally go hand in hand. Duh. Okay, so solid little supply area here for NVIDIA. Came back up in this area, this 883 area that we talked about. If we level this thing out, or 888, we see a run on it. If I can get it. Okay, copy. Just zoom in. 888, okay, it was taken, and then a turnaround move on it, right? So, and then it came back down, back into this little area of demand. It's made a push back at it, but it's gotten sold on. So, will it run for, if this is a straight sell on this high to make a lower high, the run is here, right? But as of right now, what we're seeing is a higher low So until proven otherwise, we're looking for this, especially with the gap up, right? Especially with the gap up. Take a look at the map of the market here. Energy's down, healthcare's down, consumer defensive's down, financial's down. You're seeing a rotation into our consumer based type of stocks with a emphasis on technology. So a rotation. Okay. I'm going to I'll call him right back, but I am going to end this live. Okay. So, do I think that we can continue to run back at our target up here? Sure. But if you didn't trim any here, you should have set a break even on your stop, right? And if you did get stopped, then okay, live to trade another setup, right? You didn't take any profits on the trim spot, then so be it. It still can find its way bouncing out of here. So if you want to still look at this, I think with a triple visit down here, it's not a terrible idea, but I would probably limp in looking for the run on this, and then looking for it to make that move. So wait for it to touch our 508.20. If you see it break through the low here, I'll be looking for a call, and then you would be using the low here as your short or as your stop with a little buffer. And you're looking for it to run at the high. Does that make sense? So as of right now, that call is still good. Just to be clear, that call is still good. In regards to risk, right, in theta burn, it was just better just to take that and let's look to reposition. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. Because because we got in right in this area, right, doesn't make it the right call. We got in right down here. Right down here. To sit in it because of theta. Okay. All right. I'm going to end it. I see viewers are kind of dropping off. It's a little long-winded today. It's an hour and a half, a lot longer than I normally do. I know I need a drink. I hope everyone made a little bit of money off that particular play. Know that what our ranges are for today.